fashion in a magazine, endless pleasure in limousine. In the back shakes a tambourine, nicotine from a silver screen. Speed step.
We're very influenced by fashion in everything, you know, everything we do. Although you could say, oh, I don't follow fashion, but you'll be influenced just by opening a magazine or a newspaper, and then a trend will start, and then what happens is we get so used to seeing that look. Like something can come out and you think, oh gosh, that's awful, that's horrible, I don't like that. And then the more and the more and more we see it, we become to accept it. Well, in the 70s was probably, that was when all the models sort of, the supermodels came out, and you had Mary Halvin and Jerry Hall, you know, the one who married Mick Jagger. And they were like the first supermodels. They were the runners before Kate Moss and all those. So there were lots. I think each decade has a different one. The 60s obviously was Twiggy, she was a model. And that sort of style. But going through each decade, you know, going back to the 50s, you've got Audrey Hepburn. The muse for Givenchy. That's how she became, you know, so fashionable, because Givenchy, he used to dress her all the time. So everything that he designed, you would probably have Audrey Hepburn in mind for it.
My icon at the time, well, everyone's icon really, was Twiggy.
80s, probably the likes of Madonna, wasn't it? You know, fashion-wise, followed through. And then in the 80s, it would have been Princess Diana, because she was, everybody for what she wore. You know, every magazine, every newspaper you'd open, it was Princess Diana. That was like the 80s and into the 90s. And I suppose now there's that many, isn't there? Now we've got the footballers' wives, the wives, everybody looks to them, don't they, for the fashion.
My favourite decade fashion-wise is probably the current fashion, because it shows all the other different years of fashion.
I'd say my favourite decade was the 70s. It was full of colour. Platform shoes came about. You had gypsy skirts, you had everything really. Mary Quant, she was so famous, her clothes selection, I wore them. They were absolutely fantastic. Yes, definitely the 70s for me.
My favourite decade of fashion would be the 1980s, because that's when Doc Martens were around and they're like in fashion now.
Favourite decade? Oh, there's probably a few. One of my favourite ones, one of the earliest ones, is round about 1910. And in 1910, we were just coming sort of through the Industrial Revolution, and clothes were starting to change. Women were getting liberated. There was all the Emily Pankhurst for the women's liberation. And before then, women had worn long, cumbersome dresses with trains, and, you know, it was very bulky, very heavy. And then people started to wear the clothes a little bit shorter.
Well, style from the 60s, 70s, decades on, it's gone round in a cycle. We have something, then we might look at it for 20 years and go, oh, I wouldn't wear that, and then all of a sudden it's back and you wear it. Such as the folks' jackets now, the fake fur. Say a decade ago, you wouldn't have been seen dead in them, but now, oh wow, they're on the high street, everyone wants them, they're fabulous, we love them. I love style, let's bring it back all the time.
I think style has changed over the years, because fashion is always about having a new style, and it's like forever changing. That's why it's so important to people.
Yeah, I do think style has changed over the years, because it's like a big rotation. Like, people now are starting to wear vintage things, and I think like in a month's time I'm not going to be wearing the same outfit. There'll be new clothes out then and a new trend to follow, so yeah, it does change.
Fashion changes with age, and I'm a lot older now, a few decades from when we had Mary Quant and Twiggy. I like my clothes long and flowy.